Welcome to an Elder Scrolls lore video. Today's video is going to be on Alduin, or, as the inhabitants of Tamriel know him, the World Eater. So to begin with, some basic information on this incredibly powerful foe. Alduin is considered as the offspring of Akatosh, and Akatosh is effectively the lead god in the Witcher universe. Akatosh has had many names such as Auriel. He is an incredibly powerful figure within most religions, and Alduin is thought to be his son. Alduin was created with one purpose in mind: to destroy the world. You may be thinking, why would a god create a creature purely to destroy such a beautiful world that they're said to rule over? Well, it's because with each world he eats, a new one is created. It's actually thought that Alduin destroyed the last world to create the current one in which Skyrim, Oblivion, and every other Elder Scrolls game takes place. So as a result of being the World Eater and technically the World Creator, he is thought as both the Creator and the Destroyer, and his existence predates Nirn itself, which if you don't know what Nirn is, that is the entire world in which Tamriel has a continent on it. There are legendary battles it is said he took part in. For example, he used to have a lot of battles with Shor, who you may remember as he had a hall in Sovngarde. Shor is basically the Nordic representation of Lorcan, and Shor was the god that created the mortal plane of Nirn. Alduin was thought to be the creator of the dragon civilization. I will try and do a lore video on dragons as a whole in the future, but as some basic information, dragons are thought to come from Akavir, and all dragons are thought to be the children of Akatosh, but Alduin is the main child. So after some dragons left Akavir, they took control of Skyrim during the Mythic era, and this was because the people of Atmora, and therefore Skyrim after they arrived in Atmora, worshipped dragons, and this could possibly be because of Alduin's power. I'm not going to get too into the entire history of the dragons ruling over the Nords during this time, as that's for a later video. I'm just going to go over Alduin as a whole in this video, so I'll get into that in a later video. But what I will say is that Alduin served as the leader of the dragons, and he ruled with an iron fist. People actually used to say that Alduin was kind of shirking his duties as the World Eater by instead ruling and reveling in the power he had, and that eventually became his downfall. So the humans either had one choice: worship him and the dragons, or be enslaved. There was a cult known as the Dragon Cult, and high-ranking members of this cult were known as Dragon Priests. There were many Dragon Priests, but the main priests were given masks, which are masks you can actually collect in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. So yeah, these were effectively the people that allowed Alduin to rule. They enslaved humans and worshipped dragons, especially Alduin. So Alduin's lieutenant at the time was Paarthurnax, and this was actually his younger sibling, who was said to also have committed many atrocities as well. Paarthurnax eventually got sick of this and saw the way that the world was going and wanted to fix things. So he betrayed Alduin by teaching humans the Thu'um, and this allowed them to rebel against dragons. After all these rebellions, there was an eventual war, and this war was known as the Dragon War. During this time, Alduin was led to the throat of the world, where he battled 3 Nordic heroes. They had perfected a new shout called Dragonrend, which I suppose you could say incapacitated Alduin. They then used one of the Elder Scrolls to send him forward into the future, and that was it for Alduin for some time. Things began to settle down, dragons were hunted more and more until they were almost extinct, other than a few rare dragons such as Paarthurnax who just sat on the throat of the world, and that was the end of dragonkind for a very, very long time in Tamriel. So during this time, a prophecy was made, and I'll read this prophecy for you quickly, and you'll probably know as you will have played Skyrim. And the scrolls have foretold of black wings in the cold, that when brothers wage war, come unfurled. Alduin, bane of kings, ancient shadow, with a hunger to swallow the world. So that was part of the song Dragonborn, but the prophecy that actually foretold of Alduin's return is on Alduin's Wall, and this is located in Skyhaven Temple. This was built in the First Era by the Akaviri and was also recounted in the Book of the Dragonborn, and also was possibly taken from an Elder Scroll. And it tells that the World Eater will return after various tumultuous events have occurred. Retelling events have led up to this point, and the claim is that the last Dragonborn will come forth at that time. So as we know, there was an event known as the Dragon Crisis, and this was when, after Alduin had been sent forward in time, he managed to resurface in the 4th Era, and this was during the Skyrim Civil War. His presence was made known after his attack on Helgen, and after that he began to travel across Skyrim, terrorizing the populace and resurrecting his fallen brethren. The resurgence of dragons and their reign of terror became known as the Dragon Crisis. But it was during this time that a Dragonborn emerged. The last Dragonborn, to challenge the World Eater. I just want to say very quickly that dragons can't actually die. Even when they're killed, their souls remain, which is why Alduin was able to resurrect them. But you can kill a dragon if you have a dragonborn. So how dragons work is they absorb souls. They can absorb souls from their brethren, and a dragonborn has this ability also. So if you kill a dragonborn can absorb his soul into his own body, which then means that dragon is dead. So after going through many adventures, the dragonborn eventually reached Parthenax, and after going back and forth and learning Dragonren and some other shouts, there was a battle against Alduin at the throat of the world, and Alduin suffered a minor defeat. The final confrontation between the Dragonborn and Alduin was in Sovngarde, and this was where the Dragonborn was helped by a few legendary heroes and they defeated Alduin once and for all. But it's still said that Alduin will return, and at the end of the world, eat it. So to end today's video, I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about Alduin, and then I hope this video has been enough for you guys. So scholars speculate that Alduin is the Nordic name for Akatosh, but one source states that Alduin and Akatosh are different deities entirely. For example, Alduin actually calls himself the firstborn of Akatosh, which is what I stated earlier. It's not exactly clear what that means, but we can assume that it probably means he was the first dragon created. Some sources suggest that he was split from Akatosh, or possibly the greater Akatusk, at some point in the distant past. And according to Parthenax, Alduin's peers consider him the most acclaimed creation of Akatosh. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say for Alduin in this video. I'm going to cover dragons as a whole in a later video, so be sure to subscribe for that. But yeah, I hope this has been interesting for you guys. Maybe you learned something new, maybe you didn't, or maybe you just watched this because you wanted to get a bit more Skyrim in your life. But I hope this video has been good enough for you guys. And what I will say before I fully end today's video is that if you look at Alduin, his appearance is completely different to any other dragon in the Elder Scrolls universe. For example, Parthenax is a little different to other dragons, but you could probably find another dragon that looks quite similar, whereas Alduin is completely different, which shows just how special he is compared to other dragons. But anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed today's video. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe. I plan to do more Elder Scrolls lore at some point in the future, and obviously Witcher lore. Be sure to follow my Twitter to get in on polls. I might even include Elder Scrolls again next week, as I really do like the Elder Scrolls, and I'm sure you guys enjoy these videos. Be sure to follow me on Twitch. I plan to stream some more games on there soon, so that should be fun. And also, a big thank you to the Patreon pledges. Someone donated $100 recently, which is honestly just unbelievable. That is honestly just amazing. Thank you very, very much. It's very kind of you, and I just want to say thank you. Everybody else that donates on Patreon is just amazing. All of you are awesome. It's very, very kind of you, and I never expected you guys to do this. But anyway, thank you all so much. And everyone that's watching now, if you enjoyed today's video and want to see more Elder Scrolls lore, be sure to like the video and tell me in the comments if you want to see this as a regular series. Maybe I could replace one of the Witcher lore days with Elder Scrolls lore days, as I do really like Elder Scrolls and it might be a fun thing to do. But we'll see. We'll see what you guys think. Anyway, I'll see you all later, guys. Have an awesome rest of the week, or weekend, or whatever it is at the time watching this video. Maybe this will be in 50 years when none of this exists. But anyway, guys, I'll see you all later.